Hey everyone, welcome to the Bookbinders.
I'm Charlotte.
And I'm Sarah, and today we'll be analyzing The Grants by Lana Del Rey.
The last song analysis for her new album.
Did you notice? Yeah, this is the very last episode that we'll be filming formally of analysis for this series, and then we'll be getting into the finale, so tying everything together as one cohesive concept album. So we should just mention right now that this album has been theorized to be a concept album, which is basically the idea of an album having one central concept and then having a bunch of little songs that almost fit into the song. So this album is definitely considered a concept album because we can see that reoccurring theme of a tunnel. Ergo, Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard, the name of the song.
And the album.
And the album, sorry. That's what I meant. I meant to say album, but I ended up saying
okay.
song. But yes, of course, she also has a song called Did You Know There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard? So yeah, you're following the series for a reason. So yeah, you guys probably know that. Moving on.
First impressions?
Yes, first impressions, of course. Go ahead.
I didn't really like this song from the first impression.
Okay.
Until now.
Yeah, I think, okay, see, the thing about The Grants is, I think it's definitely a poetic masterpiece. Masterpiece is a little bit of an overstatement there.
It's poetic.
But it's definitely very poetic. It has the depth of, like, a Langston Hughes poem. I'm not a necessarily big fan. No, not Langston Hughes. It has the depth of, like, a Maya Angelou poem. But I don't even like general poets because I feel like their poetry is so targeted and not as, I'm probably yet to read like some poetry that I really, really like. I mean, formally stated as poetry, not song lyrics. But we can definitely analyze a lot of different poetries. However, I do like Emily Dickinson. Upon looking at the song, I think it's great in the context of poetry and in the context of Lana and her life. However, song-wise and melodically, I'm not really sure if it has as much strength there.
Yeah. I mean, definitely if this is your type of music, then it would be a good song. But I'm not really...
Yeah.
It's not really my sort of thing. It's slow. It has a sort of churchy element, I think, with the hymn. Or maybe it's just choiry.
I think a good thing to mention regarding this song is that a lot of its musical depth here is talking, it's a lot about a story. The song is very story oriented, and unlike a song like Fingertips, it doesn't have a lot of range. The song stays very static, at least in my opinion. It's very, very static. It's like a perfect album intro song. And I wish it had more of a melodic switch or change, like in Fingertips, we could see that she like modulates her voice based on some parts that are more intense, like when she says Monaco, she's like, it's more exasperated and like
there's urgency.
I was in Monaco, I couldn't handle there was a different tone associated with various lines. However, in this, it's once again very static. One word.
Legacy.
I like that, and I think legacy also fits in very well to mine. I was just going to say something like family, because obviously the song is called The Grants, and for context, Lana, who originally by birth is Elizabeth Woodledge Grant, implying that she is a Grant and her family is the Grants, so the song is about her family.
Oh, I forgot the title is The Grants.
Well, I mean...
Okay, I can work that in. You got this.
Okay. So yeah, there's your TP cast already. And then, shall we go straight into the music?
Alright, well, we should first talk about the intro section, which is spoken by the choir.
Oh, that's what I meant. That's like the first lyric in my head.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for that one, I don't really count them as necessarily meaning. I think she included them for a reason. And I think it's less about what they say and rather what they're symbolizing there.
Okay, I think
what did you say?
It has a lot to do with both, because what they're saying here is really important, and I came back to it at the end and reanalyzed it almost because contextually it fits in so well, and I think that's what it's implying here. So would you like to go over this let's read the verse, then let's not really say too much about it, and then get into the rest of the lyrics, and then we'll come back. Please remind us to come back. Okay. So the verse is, they start with 1, 2, ready, which is almost like a symbolization of a song starting.
Mm-hmm.
These are counts off to a song starting, and then the chorus, the choir starts going into singing.
I'm gonna take mine with you, with me.
Mine. Say it again. Mine with you, with me. Thank you.
One more time. And then it begins.
Yeah, and then 1, 2, ready, and the whole song begins. So I think an important thing to note here is that this verse, it's very confusing. It's not very straightforward when you're reading it without the rest of the context of the song. So with that, is there anything you want to say about it?
Well, we can circle.
Yeah, that's what I
back.
meant. We can circle back.
We can circle back because nothing
precisely.
that I said must be said now. Like I can mention it later.
Okay.
And
So, one more time. 1, 2, ready, and go. And then it starts with the first lyrics. I'm going to take you with me. I'm going to take mine of you with me. And she repeats that 3 times.
Yeah. So what did you say for this?
Well, I know you had a lot of analysis on who is you, but I felt like you is a direction of a general audience. You is talking to Lana's fans.
Mm-hmm.
And rather, actually, I thought that you was more talking to either Lizzie or Lana as Lanita, who is the more refined version. But she doesn't know she's Lanita yet. But I feel like she's talking about Lana. And she talks about how Lana took Lizzie with her. Kind of. And they're going through a tunnel, right? They're in this tunnel. So through this tunnel, she's taking her with her.
All right.
What do you want to say about this?
Well, I had, like you said, I did write "Who is you" really big on the top,
Mm-hmm.
but basically it's just the fans.
Okay.
Like
So what is your justification for that?
Well, it'll be unraveled, but basically she's saying she's gonna take memories of the fans
Mm-hmm.
and their interactions with Lana Del Rey as she changes to either revert back to Lizzie Grant, which is what I thought from this, or your theory about Lanita coming into play, this new adapted version.
See, I would like to explain this more in the next episode. However, I believe that, I think I said at some point that I believe that Lana was going to quit music, or and the song promotes the idea of her committing suicide. However, now I believe that she will be committing suicide on the persona of Lizzie, so this metaphorical suicide rather, and to destroy Lana Del Rey, but to come back as Lanita and not to completely die as a musician, but rather to die as Lana Del Rey in this persona. We can get into explaining that more in the next episode, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, definitely. So
now,
for this one,
okay. I was just gonna say that she says, "I'm going to take mine of you with me." That meaning of mine of you can imply memories, which she says later on. So the mine of you is a memory.
Memories of her fans, for my analysis.
For me, it's the memories of all the time she spent as Lana Del Rey with her fans, with her family, with whoever she was or what she was doing. That goes into the next lyric.
Like Rocky Mountain High.
Like Rocky Mountain High. So, what Lana... do you want to explain this? Go ahead.
Alright. Well, this song, Rocky Mountain High, is a John Denver song.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, it's a song about how both the big and little things in nature, in the world, are all interwoven and beautiful. Mm-hmm. And what she's saying by this is she's going to take the memories of all of these beautiful things that you get this high from just witnessing such majestic beauty, and she's going to take these little happinesses, if that's a word, I think it's a word, with her as she changes.
So I had a slightly different analysis on this. I really like what you said, because later on she does talk about John Denver. However, I believe that it's she's alluding here to her late Uncle Dave, and Uncle Dave died in the Rocky Mountains. So therefore, she climbed the Rocky Mountains, metaphorically, to go look for his astral body and fingertips. And she's saying, and when she went to go climb it, she kept him in mind. So she's almost comparing this, like, I will take all of your memories as I will die, just as I did when I climbed those Rocky Mountains.
Interesting. That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, the reason that I said what I said is because she says the way
Yeah.
John Denver sings, and
Right.
that is very much like he's singing about all
Yeah,
these beautiful
yeah.
little things, which is what she's going to take with her, all the beautiful things she sees. And in an interview with Lana recently, we saw that she said she's trying to focus more on the little things in life, like stopping at a stoplight and just experiencing that moment.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's very contemplative, and it's really appreciating the moment and stuff. So that goes into after John Denver sings, because I didn't want to analyze it very much. I wasn't that into, like, analyzing what John Denver sings, because ultimately he sings something, and whatever he sings resonated with Lana. But that goes into the next slide. So you say that there's a chance for us. Should I do a dance for once? Go ahead.
All right. Well, I have sort of a long-winded explanation for this, but let's see if I can not ramble.
No, go ahead.
So Lana's addressing her fans. So you say that Lana Del Rey as a persona could work. She could become popular and get all the views, be the superstar singer with like a large fan base, sort of like Taylor Swift. And then she says, should I do a dance for once? And she's asking basically if she should try to make her music more basic or more approachable, because she has a lot of this music that's sort of not melodically complex like Fingertips, but in terms of storytelling, it's incredibly deep. But she's asking if she should make it more dance-worthy, more focused on like beats and music that are going to draw the audience in rather than a story that's actually beautiful. And basically, she's asking like, should I sell my artistry? Is that what you want me to do to stay in this Lana Del Rey persona and make it work? Basically, like, what more is there to be done for Lana Del Rey if it's just not working?
Yeah, I understand that, but I mean, I feel like we have completely different analyses for this, because in this line, I feel like she switched a perspective. So instead of talking to the fans anymore, I feel like she's talking to all the people she died of when she's going to go to heaven, which is what the song is about. She's saying, oh yeah, I'm going to go and take your memory with me. So now I feel like she's addressing all the people who died. She says, so you say that there's a chance for us to meet again and meet each other and see each other. So this chance for them to meet again. And then she's saying, should I do a dance? Should I be that happy? Do I deserve to be happy? And I feel like dance is like, oh, something you do when you're excited or when you do when you're happy. It's like a victory dance or whatever you want to call it. And so she's almost saying that, but she doesn't feel like she should deserve to have like a win for once. So yeah. Next line. You're a family man, but do you think about heaven? Oh.
Okay, well,
Okay.
go first.
All right. So then she switches perspectives again. She talks to her fans. She says, "You're a family man," to her fans, and she's saying like, you've never like felt the emotional depth as I have, or like have you felt the loss that I have? And she's saying, oh yeah, you care for your family, you do, right? But do you think about heaven? Do you think about all these people? Are they living a better life now, etc.? And what's going on with that?
Interesting. I could definitely see that. So for You're a Family Man, she's like, family man is someone who has a stable life, someone who's got a family, you know, they're very focused on providing for their family.
Right.
It's someone whose life does not change that much. I mean, there's some variability, but it's not like, basically their livelihood is not at risk of collapsing every day because they're at the mercy of all of these fans, at the mercy of the media. So by saying you're a family man to the fans, it's more like you're someone who doesn't want change. You don't want me to change. You want me to stay Lana Del Rey and have a stable persona, basically, with this Lana Del Rey. But there's no such thing because Lana Del Rey doesn't exist. And then the do you think about heaven?
Good point.
I grouped it with do you think about me?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so basically it's like, just like heaven, I mean, this is going to be really, really controversial. Okay.
Would you like to share it, or?
Yeah, I'll share it. Heaven is a concept. Like, the fact that some people don't believe in heaven means that it is, at its core, a concept that people can choose to believe in. I know for some people that they do believe in it, and I'm not saying that they're not correct. I'm not saying that anyone's correct. I'm just saying, just like heaven, Lana Del Rey is a concept, and like an idea, something that's pretty much intangible to living beings. And now you can deliberate on whether or not you think heaven is real and all that, but Lana Del Rey is not.
I like that because, I like the idea of Lana Del Rey being a concept via this lyric, and I mean, it makes a lot of sense. For Do You Think About Me, I feel like I had a very similar analysis. Like, while you're in heaven, while you're in the good life, like, do you ever remember, like, my love and my care for you? So I feel like that's all she implies by Do You Think About Me. But it could be definitely taken in both those emotional contexts because they both make sense. And then she goes into, my pastor told me, when you leave, all you take is, oh, your memory. I mean, pastor, religious person, and very straightforward, but when you leave, when you go to heaven, all you take is your memory, which could be alluding to Lana Del Rey passing and taking her memory of these people, or rather, those people who died. The song being about her grandmother and her uncle, who are both grands, and they could have taken the memory of her, which is why she asks, do you think about me?
Interesting. Yeah, I could definitely see that. But I said something very similar because basically, there's not a lot of different ways you can take this.
Yeah, this is very straightforward.
It's pretty straightforward. So, like, the pastor shows that at some point she sought advice from some, like, religious figure, and usually they're supposed to provide,
That's interesting because I didn't think of it
comfort.
as advice. I thought of it as a pastor telling a bunch of people, like, all you take is your memory.
Yeah.
But I don't remember church, so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if people typically go ask their pastor things. I just found it interesting that she said, my pastor told me, rather than my pastor said. But, like, if we know that she was having, like, suicidal thoughts at some point, and, like, attempts on her life, then it's very normal for the healing process of that to be, like, finding faith for some people. I'm not saying that everyone does that, I'm just saying for some people. And the whole, when you leave, all you take memories and all that. The pastor, I think, meant die, because I think she's looking back at a time when she was trying to, like, heal herself from suicidal thoughts and whatever else she experienced in her past. And so the pastor meant dying physically, but in a way someone is going to die, and that's going to be Lana Del Rey. And then all you take is your memory, so Lana Del Rey is dying, and then Lizzie or Lanita is going to become the new Lana, or, like, take her place, and whoever that new persona is going to have all the memories and all the lessons that Lana Del Rey learned, and then be able to build off of that.
Right, so I think we can say that when Lana switched from Lizzie to Lana, all that she had left of Lizzie was the memory, the memory of committing the suicide, the memory of knowing when you're like home, you're home, you're home, you're home, and, like, when you know. So, I mean, that kind of thing is, like, known by both of them, and that's the memory that she's taking. And then she repeats the lyrics, I'm going to take mine of you with me, and once again reiterating, and I feel like the song is called The Grands because she's talking about Lizzie Grant here, and she's talking about Lana Del Rey to get into Lanita. So that whole thing, that whole transition there is like, and I'm going to take mine of you with me. And then along with that, of course, the fans, and I think also the people who have died in the past.
Yeah, I would agree, basically. I think this line could be really anyone. I had it as the fans. and then in a sense Lana Del Rey,
Mhm.
and those interactions between Lana Del Rey and the
Right.
fans,
Right.
and her whole musical career as Lana Del Rey.
Mhm.
And the reason that it's called the Grants is because she's reverting back to Lizzie Grant, just
Mhm.
in name.
Yeah.
Like I would not be surprised at all if Lana Del Rey released a new album under the name Lizzie Grant.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know if she's actually gonna change her name to Lenita in terms of like.
No, but I mean, a lot
Like,
of people
in
call her
personality, yeah.
Lanita because when she was doing concert in Brazil, I'm pretty sure a lot of people referred to her as
As Lanita.
Lanita, and she did use a Latina accent. So
Really?
yeah, I think she adopted some sort of Latina accent. Also, she did grow up a lot. Well, she adopted the Lana Del Rey persona in Miami, so a lot of that influence is coming in there for her.
Mm-hmm.
And then she says, so many mountains too high to climb. And
Yeah, well.
yeah, so I mean, for me, of course, this is her saying, like, I guess, like, I would rather commit suicide and be with you, Uncle Dave, than climb all of these mountains. Like, it's easier for me to go and just commit suicide and find you there instead of having to climb all of these high mountains. Did you want
I
to say
guess
something about it, sir?
Yeah. So, like, as Lana Del Rey, she climbed these metaphorical mountains to be successful,
Yeah.
but there were just so many mountains. Like, there are so many obstacles standing in the way
Yeah,
of
that
her
makes
and
sense.
this, like, success, so-called success,
Mm-hmm.
which would be, like, a larger fan base or
Yeah.
whatever. And she was constantly struggling to climb these metaphorical mountains.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see the same sort of theme repeated in the next line, which...
Yeah, and then in the next line she says, so many rivers so long, but I'm doing the hard stuff, I'm doing my time. I have a lot of theories for these next two lines.
Well, do you want to jump into your theories?
Well, I can, do you want to go first or should I go first?
I mean, either way.
All
I
right,
feel like
I'll just talk, but you can go.
All right.
So, I mean, so many rivers so long, and I feel like this is her remembering this is her getting flashbacks. So this is like flashbacks to Lizzie who committed suicide, attempted, and then she says, I'm doing the hard stuff. She's trying to be successful. She's trying to live with the pain, and I'm doing my time, which I feel like is a reference to her song Doing Time, from 2019, her NFR album. And she says, I'm doing my time in reference, well, not only in reference to that, but she's doing her time in her Lana life, and she's closing off with this. So that's what it is. What about you?
so for the so many rivers so long,
Mm-hmm.
I said that, like, rivers, like sailing down a river or boating or whatever you do, it's like a journey. It's a whole process, and they're not necessarily challenging in terms of, like,
Right.
it's not hard like it is hard to climb a mountain,
Yeah.
but you need to have that patience to be able
Yeah.
to wait.
You do.
And she's been waiting for her success. Like, the success is reaching your destination on the river, but you have to wait for that.
Yeah.
And she's been waiting for that success as Lana Del Rey, and it hasn't come yet.
Yeah.
And she's trying to cope doing the hard stuff, like using drugs or alcohol, or just hard
Yeah.
stuff in terms of, like, persisting, because persisting can be
Persisting is a
very
hard part
hard.
of it.
And she's doing her time imprisoned as Lana Del Rey in this persona.
Yeah, precisely.
And then for the next line, I'm doing it for us, our family line.
Yes, I'm doing it for us, for our family life. I feel like she's trying to prove something here. She's trying to prove that, like, you know, I can... it's an allude to the fact that she wants children, but she can't have children. And I'm doing it for us, for our family line. And then in the chorus, she said, do you want to say something?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I interrupted you. My bad.
No, it's okay. She's doing it so she doesn't lose her fans that she worked
Yeah.
so hard for, because,
Yeah.
like, all the mountains she's climbed and all the distance she's gone on the river, she has gotten a considerable fan base. I mean, it's not Taylor Swift, but it's pretty big.
Yeah.
And then for our family line, I mean, you could take it in the sense of, like, actual individual members of the family, or you can take it in the sense of, like, it's a legacy. And she's doing it because she's trying to leave a legacy
Yeah.
in her Lana persona.
Precisely.
And she's afraid that if she were to change that, then the legacy will be erased.
Yeah, I can definitely see that very well. And then she says in the chorus a few things in parentheses. She says, I'll do it. I did it. And in my head, well, do you have any analysis on these, or?
Well, I think she's just like, that's what she's motivating herself to like keep doing it, keep being Lana Del Rey. Do you have more than
Yeah, I do. So I think for these, she kind of says it like a little child, like talking to a parent. She says, I'll do it, and she like almost promising that she's going to do it, and then she says, I did it, implying that she's killing off Lana by saying, I did it. And then the rest of the chorus passes, and then she says, my sister's firstborn child, who we know is Phoenix Grant, Chucky's daughter.
Yeah. Oh, did you want to continue since you were on a roll, or did you?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So, unrelated to her music career, she's just, I mean, this entire paragraph, basically, it's like things that happened while she was Lana Del Rey.
Yeah.
And this is just like showing that she has this life outside of stardom and music, and family members and memories, and she's gonna carry those with her, so that she keeps the same her. Like Lana, Lizzie, Lanita, regardless of the name, she's still gonna be her, like who she has been inside. And she's almost like assuring her fans that it's not too big of a change. She's just doing what she needs to do, like in terms of her career and its progression. She's still the same person, and she still has these memories and these experiences that she had as Lana Del Rey.
That's quite interesting. I mean, I just took it as an allude to the fact my sister's firstborn child. Lana's not able, I mean, I think it's something about, like, people pressuring her not to have children, like, she's not able to be a mother because of the societal pressure, and along with that, the pressure coming from her own mother and, like, her mental trauma, and she doesn't think that she's ready to have a child, so she's saying, I will take the memory of my sister's firstborn child, the one who I cared for like my own child, because I feel like she really does care for her sister's firstborn child. And then along with that, she says, I'm going to take that too. My grandmother's last smile. Her grandmother died in 2021. I forgot her name, but she did die. And I feel like that's a really important thing for Lana. And then she also says, I'm going to take that with me too. And then at the very end, I mean, do you want to say anything about this previous lines or anything?
I mean, the previous lines, I sort of grouped them together.
Okay, yeah.
In terms of, so like, if you want to do your analysis for the final line.
No, go ahead. Talk about the final line.
All right. Well, she says, it's a beautiful life. Remember that too for me. So she's basically saying, like, life is full of small beauties. And so she's telling her fans that they need to focus on appreciating that.
Yeah.
And the minuscule, little glorious things. Because there may be, like, a change with the death of Lana Del Rey. Not the actual death, but, like, the persona is going to die.
Yeah.
Metaphorically.
Yeah.
Well, not even metaphorically. It will actually die, but it's not that the person is dying. It's just Lana Del Rey.
Yeah.
And it's normal to feel loss and to look back in remembrance of Lana Del Rey and sort of mourn that loss, but also you need to remember to appreciate the good things, like the fact that she's still going to make music, or we speculate.
Oh, yeah, we would like her to.
Yeah, and then she's still there. It's not like she died physically, and she's still herself. She's just not Lana Del Rey with the name.
Yeah, I think just to add on to what you're saying there, she says, it's a beautiful life, remember that too for me. So in the context of that, she's always asking the fans here to take on hers with them when they pass. Like, it's like her saying, like, oh yeah, remember my life too when I pass. And I think that's almost what you said. And so she's saying, yeah, I had a beautiful life. I had a beautiful life as Lana Del Rey. I had a beautiful thing. Remember my memory. Remember, like, don't forget me. Don't forget me. Shall we go back to the first little thingy? Okay.
So, well, if yours connects very much, then what did you have to say?
Okay, so I mean, this first little part, I feel like since Lana wasn't necessarily singing in this part, it was hard to understand the story. So overall, it's showing that there's more depth to the story, and like you can't give us like 3 lines before giving us the whole story. So I think that's the point. Like, they're singing like little parts of the lyrics, and it's like, oh yeah, thank you for taking this memory of me, but we don't really know what that means yet. So you have to like hear the whole story first before you make any judgments or any analysis in our case.
I like that. It's a very good. I don't know if I analyzed it that deeply. Basically, all I said was
okay.
they include like they say 1, 2 ready, but then they're not
Yeah.
ready, and it's just like them practicing, and it's included to show beauty in the little ordinary moments of life, beauty in the process of success, which is very important if you're someone who like expects success on everything.
Yeah.
Then it's important to show that there's a process, and sometimes you make mistakes, like they had to do it over again. And then there's emphasis. This part was chosen for a reason, I think, because Lana Del Rey does pretty much everything with a purpose. And so they're emphasizing mine of you, mine and mine of you with me, and the emphasis on memories that are hers because she's still her, and they're gonna carry them. She's gonna carry them over to this new persona, but she's still hers.
Yeah.
I mean, she's still her.
She is.
Their memories
Precisely.
still belong to her because she hasn't changed.
Yeah.
But yet she has.
Yeah, I really like that, and that's super interesting. I mean, with that, that's the end of the song, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about our analysis rating. I'm gonna give this 7 out of 10 for analysis. What about you?
I would say 8.
8?
This is probably one of my best analysis. Even if I don't like the analysis or the song, it's one of the most like cohesive where I found a way to work in everything.
Oh,
into
that's
one
nice.
story.
I love that. I love that for you. Good job. Good job. Good job. I feel like this song didn't have very much depth. I mean, at least just because
Maybe that's why
I feel
so.
like I have found more depth in other songs, especially this album, and I think in other songs as well, apart from this album. But I think it was an interesting storyline than I originally had. I mean, actually, no. I thought it was going to be more deep than this, but
I thought it was going to be more family oriented.
yeah, it wasn't quite as family oriented.
And then I wasn't I like basically put it off because I was like, I don't want to have to analyze another song about all of her family events.
Have you? Oh, yes, of course. Yeah.
I mean, one song was good. I mean, 2 songs. Like, she has a whole series in this about family, and they're very deep songs, and I like them. It's just that this song didn't compel me musically in the way that those did, so it didn't. I didn't really want to analyze it, but now I have analyzed it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, very viable. And
Song ranking?
Song rating.
5 out of 10.
Oh, I think I'm gonna give it a 5 too, because I feel like I haven't heard it enough to say anything else, and 5 is like my general average an average song rating. So I'm willing to give it more chances if you guys really like this song. I generally just ignore the tracks that I haven't listened to, so yeah, this is one of those tracks that I'm not like I'm not like super big on.
It's not bad.
It's definitely not bad. It's a great track.
It's just not my favorite.
Yeah. Anything else that we want to go over for the song?
This song, I think we're pretty much closed book.
Okay.
That's a phrase.
So just a few last remarks before we sign off. Next episode, finale. So stay tuned for that, because it's gonna be super exciting. We're gonna talk about everything about this album. We're gonna tie everything together. Then coming up next. Stop. Too many notifications. Anyway,
Taylor Swift.
the next album analysis coming is Taylor Swift's Midnights. Please give us any recommendations of what you want us to analyze on Midnights, and along with that, we will be analyzing any other songs that you guys wanted to analyze. We can also get books, and we can analyze books. We can watch movies. We can analyze movies. I really want to analyze Lady Bird.
Advertisements. I feel like analyzing advertisements would be...
Actually, even as a marketing student, I kind of dislike analyzing advertisements.
Oh, yeah. This one.
And the reason is because they're so boring. Yeah.
Which is why we should find
get better at
ridiculous
creating
ones.
Advertisements, marketers.
I
Please.
hate advertisements, actually. Can I just say, I hate all advertisements.
I think some of them are good. Like Coke advertisements, amazing.
Okay. Christmas.
I'm a Coke person.
I've never... Actually, that's not true. WeatherTech commercials
Some Christmas.
irk me. But, in general, Christmas advertisements make me much more tolerant.
I think anything that's not just a display of the product, and something that's more satirical is very interesting. So if you're going to give us satirical ads, we love to do that. And I feel like satirical ads are always super, super interesting. Satire is such a cool concept.
I love satire.
So, I mean, anything related to that, let's do it. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And then we could also discuss these satirical advertisements in our 3 a.m. podcast. So just leave anything you want us to discuss in the comments.
Anything.
We will analyze anything because that's what we do. We're the Bookbinders.
We overthink
Signing
everything.
off.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Yes. Goodbye.
Always overthink.
Always overthink.
Always.
And signing off.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Sounding off.
Yes.
Ding, ding,
Sounding
kisses.
off. Okay, farewell.